The calm before the storm. The story opens in the outer rim of the galaxy, where the alien coalition known as the Red Claw Empire has been expanding for decades. Their massive fleet patrols the space lanes, demanding tribute from weaker species and enslaving entire worlds. Admiral Vex commands the Red Claw flagship Bone Crusher from his throne on the bridge. His species, the Kralik, are 7-foot-tall reptilian warriors with natural armor plating. They have never lost a major battle in 300 years of conquest. The Red Claw controls over 40 star systems. Their technology is advanced. Plasma cannons, energy shields, faster-than-light travel. They consider themselves the apex predators of this region of space. On the bridge, Vex receives reports from his scouts. A new species has been detected, something called humans, from a small blue planet called Earth. The scouts report that humans have only recently developed space travel. Their ships are crude, using primitive fusion engines and metal hulls. Pathetic, Vex growls, his forked tongue flicking out. Another species ripe for conquest. His second-in-command, Commander Tor, brings up holographic displays showing human settlements on 3 nearby worlds. Small colonies with minimal defenses. The humans appear to use projectile weapons, actual bullets and missiles, instead of energy weapons. The Red Claw fleet consists of 200 warships, each the size of a city block. Their smallest fighters are larger than most human vessels. Vex decides this will be an easy victory to add to his collection. Prepare the fleet, he orders. We will crush these humans and take their worlds. Any survivors will make good slaves for the mines. Meanwhile, light years away, Captain Jake Mason sits in his quarters aboard the USS Blackstar. The ship hangs in deep space, running silent. Its hull is matte black, designed to absorb sensor scans. At first glance, it appears to be just another human vessel, maybe a bit larger than usual. Jake reads intelligence reports on his tablet. Earth's colonies have been sending distress signals. The Red Claw has been testing human defenses, probing for weaknesses. 3 mining stations have already been destroyed. The Blackstar is humanity's response. Built in secret over 5 years, it represents technology that even Jake doesn't fully understand. The ship's AI, Alex, handles most of the complex systems. Captain, Alex speaks through the ship's speakers. We're receiving long-range communications from Earth Command. The Red Claw fleet is moving toward the Henderson colony. Jake sets down his tablet and walks to the bridge. His crew of 50 specialists work quietly at their stations. These are not regular Navy personnel. They're hand-picked experts in warfare, engineering, and alien technology. How long until the Red Claw reaches Henderson? Jake asks. 18 hours at their current speed, replies Lieutenant Bell, the navigation officer. Jake nods. Henderson Colony has 20,000 civilians. Families who left Earth looking for a better life. The colony's defenses consist of a few orbital platforms with railguns, effective against pirates, useless against a proper war fleet. Alex, begin startup sequence for all primary systems. Acknowledged, Captain. Charging main reactor to full power. Weapon systems coming online. Stealth field generators ready. The bridge lights shift from blue to amber as the ship transitions. From standby to combat mode. Through the viewports. Space itself seems to bend and twist around the Blackstar as its stealth systems activate. Jake thinks about the choice that led him here. 10 years ago, he was a regular cargo pilot. Then, Red Claw destroyed his home colony of New Haven. His wife and daughter were among the casualties. The aliens had used the survivors for target practice. The Blackstar represents more than just advanced technology. It's humanity's declaration that they will no longer be victims. The ship incorporates reverse-engineered alien tech combined with human innovation and a willingness to break the so-called rules of galactic warfare. Set course for the Henderson system, Jake orders. Maximum stealth approach. Course laid in, Captain. Estimated arrival time, 16 hours. As the Blackstar begins moving, its engines produce no visible exhaust. The ship simply fades from sensors, as if it never existed. The crew settles in for the journey, knowing they're about to face impossible odds. Admiral Vex would be confident if he knew about the single human ship heading his way. After all, what could one vessel do against 200 warships? He's about to find out why humans have a saying, "It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog." First contact, the Red Claw fleet drops out of hyperspace at the edge of the Henderson system like a plague of metal locusts. 200 warships spread out in attack formation, their hulls gleaming red under the light of Henderson's sun. Admiral Vex stands on the bridge of his flagship, watching the tactical display. The human colony orbits the fourth planet, a small world with decent atmosphere and mineral deposits. His sensors detect the expected orbital defense platforms and a handful of human patrol ships. Pitiful, Vex sneers. The human defenses wouldn't stop even one of his destroyers, let alone his entire fleet. Commander Tor approaches with a datapad. Admiral, we're detecting unusual energy readings from the outer system. Very faint, probably sensor ghosts from our jump. Vex waves dismissively. Focus on the target. Begin the attack. The Red Claw fleet moves forward like a crimson tide. Their plasma cannons charge up, casting an eerie glow across their hulls. This is how the Red Claw always fights. Overwhelming force, no mercy, total destruction. On Henderson Colony, Governor Lisa Park watches the approaching fleet through her office window. The massive alien ships blot out the stars. She's already sent evacuation orders, but there's nowhere to run. The colony ships can't outrun military vessels. "Ma'am," her aide calls out, "Earth Command is sending a message." The communication screen flickers to life, showing Admiral Ross from Earth Defense Force. His face is grim but determined. "Governor Park, help is coming. Keep your people in the shelters and trust in our response." One ship against 200? Park shakes her head. "Admiral, that's suicide. That ship is the USS Blackstar. You'll understand soon enough." The transmission ends, leaving Park staring at empty space. One ship. The aliens are probably laughing at human stupidity, but they're not laughing on the bridge of the Bone Crusher. Commander Tor is studying his sensors with growing confusion. "Admiral, I'm reading a massive energy spike from grid section 7 Alpha, but there's nothing there on visual." Vex moves to the sensor station. The readings show power levels that rival his own flagship, impossible for human technology. It must be sensor malfunction. Humans don't have that kind of power generation. That's when the USS Blackstar decloaks. The ship materializes like a nightmare made real. It's half the size of the Red Claw flagship, but radiates menace from every line of its hull. The matte black surface seems to absorb light, making it hard to focus on. "Unknown alien vessel." Captain Jake's voice broadcasts across all Red Claw frequencies. "You are in violation of human space. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences." The bridge of the Bone Crusher falls silent. Then Vex begins laughing. A harsh, reptilian sound. "One ship. They send one ship against my entire fleet." He opens communications. "Human Captain, I am Admiral Vex of the Red Claw Empire. Surrender now, and your death will be quick." Jake's response is calm and cold. "Negative. You have 10 seconds to begin withdrawal." "Or what?" Vex's voice drips with amusement. "Or I demonstrate why humanity doesn't negotiate with genocidal aliens." Vex signals his fleet to open fire. Hundreds of plasma cannons discharge simultaneously, filling space with deadly energy. The barrage converges on the Blackstar's position. The human ship doesn't dodge. It doesn't run. Instead, a shimmering barrier appears around its hull. An energy shield, unlike anything in Red Claw. Databases. The plasma bolts strike the shield and simply ... disappear, not deflected or absorbed. They vanish as if they never existed. Impossible, Tor whispers. Jake's voice comes over the communications again. Your turn. The Blackstar's weapon ports open. Instead of the crude projectile weapons the Red Claw expected, energy builds up that makes their sensors scream warnings. The power readings are off the charts. All ships, evasive maneuvers. Vex shouts. Too late. The Blackstar fires. Beams of pure destruction lance out from the human ship. Not plasma or lasers, something that tears holes in reality itself. The beams strike 3 Red Claw destroyers simultaneously. The alien ships don't explode. They don't burn. They simply cease to exist, leaving behind expanding clouds of elementary particles. The Red Claw fleet, masters of this region of space, for centuries, suddenly realizes they're not the apex predators anymore. Captain Jake's voice echoes across space. I said withdraw. I won't ask again. For the first time in his military career, Admiral Vex feels something he'd forgotten existed. Fear. The hunt begins. Silence that follows the destruction of 3 Red Claw destroyers is deafening. Admiral Vex stares at the empty space where his ships used to be, his reptilian brain struggling to process what just happened. Sensor analysis, he barks at his crew. Admiral, the science officer's voice trembles. The ships weren't destroyed. The matter was ... converted, broken down to base particles. I've never seen weapons technology like this. Vex's claws dig into his command chair. In 300 years of conquest, the Red Claw has never faced an enemy that could simply erase their ships from existence. Captain Jake watches the alien fleet from the Blackstar's bridge. His tactical officer, Lieutenant Cole, reports on Red Claw formations. They're regrouping, Captain. Looks like they're trying to surround us. Let them, Jake replies. Alex, prepare the hunter-killer protocols. The ship's AI responds immediately. Hunter-killer. Systems online. Stealth field reconfigured for active combat mode. The Blackstar begins to move through the Red Claw formation like a shark among minnows. Its stealth technology doesn't just hide the ship. It creates false sensor readings, phantom contacts, and electromagnetic ghosts that confuse enemy targeting. Systems. Admiral Vex realizes his fleet is chasing shadows. Where is it? 200 ships can't lose track of one target. His answer comes when another destroyer vanishes in a flash of annihilation. Then another. The human ship appears to be in multiple places at once, striking without warning before. Disappearing again. Pattern analysis. Vex demands. Find me that ship. But the Blackstar doesn't follow patterns. It's not fighting like any military force the Red Claw has encountered. Its hunting. Commander Tor studies the tactical display with growing horror. Admiral, we've lost 12 ships in 6 minutes. At this rate. I know what rate this is. Vex snarls. He opens fleet communications. All ships converge on my position. Maximum defensive formation. The Red Claw fleet bunches together like frightened cattle. Their shield generators combine into overlapping protective barriers. It's a sound defensive strategy against conventional enemies. The Blackstar isn't conventional. Captain. Jake reviews the alien formation with cold satisfaction. Alex, deploy the gravity mines. Deploying gravitational distortion devices. Small objects detach from the Blackstar's hull, barely visible on sensors. They drift toward the Red Claw formation like innocuous space debris. Admiral Vex notices. Them too late. What are those objects? The gravity mines activate simultaneously. Space itself begins to warp around the Red Claw fleet. Ships designed to operate in normal gravity suddenly find themselves caught in conflicting gravitational fields. The alien vessels are pulled in different directions at once. Their hulls, built to withstand plasma fire and energy weapons, buckle under gravitational stress. Smaller ships are torn apart by tidal forces. Impossible, Vex roars. They're weaponizing gravity itself. The Red Claw fleet, moments ago in perfect defensive formation, becomes a chaotic mess of colliding ships and failing systems. In the confusion, the Blackstar strikes again. This time, Jake doesn't use the annihilation beams. Instead, the human ship deploys something even more terrifying. Boarding pods that phase through Red Claw shields as if they don't exist. On the bridge of a Red Claw cruiser, Captain Zack watches in disbelief as human soldiers materialize in his command center. Their armor is sleek black metal that seems to absorb weapons fire. Their rifles discharge projectiles that punch through Red Claw armor like paper. "Surrender your ship," the lead human says through a translation device. His voice is emotionless behind his helmet. "You have 30 seconds. Zack reaches for his sidearm. The human soldier moves faster than Red Claw reflexes should allow. Zack finds himself unconscious before he can draw his weapon. Across the fleet, the same scene plays out. Human boarding parties capture Red Claw ships with surgical precision. They don't kill unless attacked first, but their technology makes resistance pointless. Admiral Vex realizes he's losing more than a battle. He's losing his entire understanding of warfare. The humans fight with technology that seems impossible. Tactics that break every rule, and a cold efficiency that terrifies even veteran Red Claw warriors. "Admiral," Tor reports, 43 ships captured, 18 destroyed. The remaining fleet is requesting permission to retreat. For the first time in his career, Vex considers retreat. But pride wars with survival instinct. Captain Jake's voice echoes across Red Claw communications. "Admiral Vex, you have one chance. Surrender now, and your crews will be treated according to galactic conventions. Continue fighting, and I'll demonstrate more of humanity's capabilities." Vex looks at his tactical display. Half his fleet is gone. The human ship hasn't even been damaged. What kind of monsters had the Red Claw awakened? The reckoning Admiral Vex stares at the tactical display showing the destruction of his once mighty fleet. 43 ships captured, 18 completely annihilated, and the remainder trapped by gravitational distortions that make escape impossible. "Admiral," Commander Tor's voice is barely a whisper, "what are your orders?" Vex's pride wars with the survival instincts that made him a successful predator. The Red Claw Empire has never surrendered. Never. But they've also never faced an enemy like this. Captain Jake waits on the Blackstar's bridge, watching the alien fleet's confusion with grin satisfaction. This isn't about victory anymore. It's about sending a message that will echo across the galaxy. "Alex, open a channel to all Red Claw vessels." "Channel open, Captain." Jake's voice broadcasts across space with cold authority. "Red Claw forces, you have 60 seconds to make your choice. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded, or I'll show you what human anger really looks like." On Henderson Colony, Governor Park watches the battle through long-range sensors. What should have been a massacre has become something impossible. One human ship dismantling an entire alien fleet. "Ma'am," her aide reports, "we're receiving detailed scans of the battle. The human ship... It's not just winning. It's demonstrating technologies we didn't know existed." Park nods, understanding the larger implications. This isn't just about saving Henderson Colony. It's about announcing to the galaxy that humanity is no longer prey. Admiral Vex makes his decision. Opening fleet communications, he gives the order. That will haunt Red Claw military doctrine forever. All ships, power down weapons, prepare for boarding. The surrender ripples through the Red Claw fleet like a physical blow. Warriors who have conquered 40 star systems submit to a single human vessel. But Captain Jake isn't finished with his demonstration. Alex, scan the Red Claw database for information on their other operations. Scanning, Captain. I'm detecting records of 17 slave worlds, 42 mining operations using forced labor, and, Captain, they have records of destroying civilian populations for sport. Jake's expression hardens. The Red Claw aren't just conquerors. They're genocidal monsters who kill for entertainment. Broadcast this information to all Red Claw ships. Make sure every crew member sees what their empire really is. The data floods Red Claw communication systems. Many of the alien soldiers had no idea about the full extent of their empire's atrocities. They were told they were bringing order to chaos, civilization to primitive worlds. The truth is uglier. Images of destroyed colonies, records of mass executions, documentation of species driven to extinction for Red Claw amusement. On the flagship, Commander Tor reviews the data with growing horror. Admiral, is this true? Did we really ... Vex can't meet his officer's eyes. The Empire demands strength. The weak must serve the strong. Children, Admiral. They killed children for target practice. Jake's voice cuts through their conversation. Now you understand why humanity doesn't negotiate with you. You're not warriors. You're parasites. The boarding process begins. Human soldiers phase through Red Claw hulls using technology that makes mockery of physical barriers. They move through the alien ships like ghosts made solid, systematically disabling weapons and securing crew quarters. The Red Claw warriors, so confident in their natural armor and superior size, find themselves helpless against human technology. Their plasma weapons are useless against armor that bends energy around itself. Their physical strength means nothing when humans move faster than Red Claw eyes can track. Admiral Vex watches his bridge being occupied by human soldiers. Their leader removes his helmet, revealing Captain Jake's scarred face. You're Vex, Jake. States, it's not a question. I am Admiral Vex of the Red Claw Empire. By the laws of war, I demand. You demand nothing. Jake's voice cuts like a blade. You lost the right to make demands when you chose genocide as policy. Jake reviews the data. Pad showing Red Claw crimes. New Haven colony. Ring any bells, Admiral? 3 years ago, your forces destroyed the settlement and used the survivors for target practice. Vex's reptilian features show no emotion, but Jake continues. My wife and daughter were on New Haven. They died because you thought killing humans was entertaining. Understanding dawns in Vex's eyes. This isn't just military action. It's personal revenge, backed by impossible technology. The Red Claw Empire ends today, Jake announces. Your slave worlds will be liberated. Your war fleets will be destroyed. Your leaders will face justice. One ship cannot conquer an empire, Vex growls. Jake almost smiles. Admiral, you still don't understand. The Blackstar isn't humanity's only ship. It's just the first one. On cue, space begins to shimmer as more human vessels decloak around the captured Red Claw fleet. Dozens of ships, each radiating the same impossible power signatures as the Blackstar. Red Claw Empire's 3 centuries of dominance are ending, and humanity is just getting started. Asterisk. The New Order 6 months after the battle at Henderson Colony. The galaxy is a very different place. The Red Claw Empire, which once controlled 40 star systems, has collapsed entirely. Their slave worlds are free, their war fleets destroyed or captured, and their leaders face trial for crimes against sentient species. Captain Jake stands on the observation deck of Earth Station Alpha, watching construction ships build humanity's first major space installation. The station will serve as headquarters for the newly formed Galactic Liberation Fleet, humanity's answer to centuries of alien oppression. Admiral Ross joins him at the viewport. The Council of Species has formally recognized human sovereignty over this sector. Funny how quickly they found their manners once they saw what happened to the Red Claw. Jake nods, but his expression remains serious. Fear isn't respect, Admiral. They'll turn on us the moment they think they can win. Let them try. We have 47 ships in the Liberation Fleet now, all based on Blackstar technology. The message is clear. Humanity protects the innocent and punishes the guilty. Through the viewport, they watch former Red Claw prisoners working alongside human engineers. Not as slaves, but as volunteers seeking redemption. Many Red Claw soldiers had no idea about their empire's true nature until the Blackstar revealed the evidence. Commander Tor, formerly of the Red Claw fleet, approaches them. He now wears a simple gray uniform and serves as a liaison between human forces and reformed Red Claw personnel. Captain Mason, Tor says, his reptilian features showing what passes for respect among his species. The prisoner transfer from Sector 9 is complete. Admiral Vex and his war council are ready for transport to the trial facility. Jake turns from the viewport. Vex's trial will be broadcast across the galaxy, a demonstration that the old ways of conquest and genocide are finished. How are the other Red Claw adapting to freedom? Jake asks. Better than expected. Many of my people were raised to believe strength meant domination. Learning that strength can mean protection instead, it's difficult, but not impossible. The transformation isn't limited to former Red Claw forces. Across the galaxy, weaker species that had lived in fear for generations are beginning to stand up for themselves. The Blackstar's victory proved that advanced technology and brutal tactics could be defeated by superior strategy and moral purpose. On the bridge of the USS Blackstar, now flagship of the Liberation Fleet, Alex processes intelligence reports from across known space. Captain, the AI reports, long-range sensors are detecting movement in the Korth Nebula. Analysis suggests another aggressive species is testing our response capabilities. Jake settles into his command chair. The liberation of Red Claw space was just the beginning. The galaxy is full of predator species that see weakness as invitation and mercy as opportunity. Fleet status, Alex? 47 ships operational. All vessels report ready for immediate deployment. New recruits from 17 different species have volunteered for the Liberation Fleet. That's the real victory. Humanity isn't conquering the galaxy. They're inspiring it. Species that had never fought back against oppression are joining. The cause of galactic freedom. Set course for the Korth Nebula. Signal the fleet to follow. The Liberation Fleet moves through space like avenging angels. Their ships are painted white with blue trim, colors that have become symbols of hope across the galaxy. Unlike the Red Claw's crimson vessels of war, human ships represent justice and protection. In his quarters, Jake reviews reports from liberated worlds. Henderson Colony has become a major trade hub. Former Red Claw slave worlds are establishing democratic governments. The galaxy is learning that cooperation can be more profitable than conquest. But Jake knows the real test is yet to come. Human technology gives them an advantage. But technology alone didn't defeat the Red Claw. It was human determination, tactical thinking, and willingness to fight for principles rather than profit. A communication comes through from Earth Command. President Williams appears on the screen, smiling broadly. Captain Mason, the UN Security Council has approved your request for expanded fleet operations. The Galactic Liberation Charter has been signed by 37 species so far. Thank you, Madam President. But remember, the moment we become conquerors instead of liberators, we become everything we fought against. Understood, Captain. The galaxy is watching humanity now. Let's make sure they see something worth following. As the Liberation Fleet approaches the Korth Nebula, Jake reflects on how much has changed. A year ago, humans were unknown primitives hiding on the edge of civilized space. Now they're the galaxy's protectors. The USS Blackstar had arrived and obliterated everything in its way, not just Red Claw ships, but the entire concept that might makes right. The galaxy is learning a new lesson. Humanity doesn't just survive. Humanity thrives. And anyone who threatens innocent lives will discover why humans have a reputation for being the most dangerous species in the universe. Not because they're the strongest, but because they're the most stubborn about doing what's right. Asterisk.